This is pretty interesting. At least I think this is kind of interesting. This says a lot about YouTube as well. Joe Rogan's podcast is becoming a Spotify exclusive, a massive gain for the platform, and I agree on that 100%. This is a very, very big win for them and a very, very big loss for YouTube. YouTube is trying to become cable television in a lot of ways, and it's really weird. Like, one of the big reasons that YouTube has really became as popular as it is because of, real people getting on the platform. It's creators that built it. And now that the house is built, they want to go ahead and bring Jimmy Kimmel on and all of these other people that they just don't really, it's not what people want. And they've done it in such a weird way by changing the way the algorithm works to give these people more views and stuff. Like, I see them. Here's a really good example. I mean, how many times do you watch a video from somebody you're actually subscribed to, and then it goes to like some other outlet? Like, for example, and he talks about this on his channel, if you watch a Tim Pool video, 9 times out of 10, as soon as that video is over, it takes you to like Fox News, usually a Tucker Carlson video. It's really strange. YouTube's been messing up, and I think that a lot of this is going to backfire on them because people don't want mainstream voices when they come to YouTube. That's not what YouTube is supposed to represent. But anyway, I'm just kind of ranting a little bit on that one. Joe Rogan's leaving. That's a big deal. A lot of people have been lured off of the platform here and there. PewDiePie recently came back. They are trying to keep people. I don't know if Joe tried to work something out with them or not, but Spotify paid him a lot of money. Let's go over this. Joe Rogan, comedian and host of one of the most popular podcasts in the world, is taking his show to Spotify. The Joe Rogan Experience will soon become a Spotify exclusive, meaning episodes, full audio, and video. That's important. Video will only be available through the platform starting later this year. Up until now, Rogan's show has never been available on Spotify, let alone exclusive to any platform. The show will become available on Spotify globally starting on September 1st, and it'll become an exclusive sometime after that point. Listeners won't have to pay to access the episodes, but they will have to become Spotify users. Spotify said in a press release that Rogan contains creative control over his show. It didn't disclose how much it spent on the deal. The company will also work with an ad agency to jointly sell ads against the program. Rogan said last year his show reached about 190 million downloads a month. And that's a lot of downloads. It's probably across multiple platforms, I would imagine, because I know he's on iTunes and a few other podcast sites as well, but that's changing. That's changing. So it took me a minute to find a lot of info on this because I wanted to get info on his YouTube channel as well. That was my biggest question, is what's he going to do with it? And they actually touch on it in here, right here. Rogan's YouTube channel will remain live, but it won't contain full episodes. That's a big deal. There might be clips or other supplementary content which could benefit from YouTube's search algorithm and push people to listen to full episodes on Spotify. So they'll use the platform to push people over to theirs. It's actually pretty smart business. And another point that I want to get to, I think you're going to see competitors rise up against YouTube. It's just taking a little bit. I think eventually someone will rise up and be a true competitor to YouTube. Maybe it'll be Spotify. I don't know. They're making moves. They talk about here Spotify's podcast ambitions always directly targeted Apple, which up until now has been the biggest name in podcast players. But with the Rogan deal, Spotify also has another new target, YouTube. When it began testing its video podcasting feature earlier this month, it did so with the backing of 2 popular YouTubers. Rogan is one of the most popular YouTube podcasters, often with millions of people watching each episode. So losing his voice on the platform is a major hit to YouTube and a big gain to Spotify, and I agree. In fact, if you take a look at this, as soon as this announcement was made, Spotify spiked 11% in their stocks. That's pretty big. That's a nice little gain just from him. Just getting him over there got them a big gain on their platform. That's pretty crazy. So I don't know if Spotify will be the platform that takes down YouTube. I honestly think what's going to happen is you're going to see more of a type of content focused type of thing pop up. So if you do live streams or podcast style of content, Spotify might be a place you would go. If you do other types of videos, I think another place will pop up for that type of content, because YouTube is really everything in one. So I think that what they're doing over regular creators by putting them down and putting people like Jimmy Kimmel up, that's going to eventually hurt the platform a lot. I don't know why they don't see that, but it's just not going to work because we already have cable. The whole point of YouTube is to get away from it. So, I mean, these are some of the things that I'm seeing, but him leaving is a big deal. And I don't think he'll be the last to leave. I really don't. But I guess the real question is, where do all the small creators go? What are they going to do? People like me and other people that have platforms on YouTube. A lot of people say BitChute. I've made a BitChute. Nobody goes over there. It's a problem with the platform. I don't know what the solution is for them. I'm not an expert. I just like to make my content and put it up. We'll see what happens as time goes on. But I think, if you make it and you become big and you're somebody like Tim Pool or something like that, I think, there's outlets that'll want you. Like Tim has a podcast show now, and I could see them eventually trying to get him on Spotify or something like that. I think if you're big, it's a little bit different. But even on YouTube now, it's hard to get to where even I'm at now. And a lot of that has to do with the way they keep changing the algorithm and stuff like that. A really good example of this is Captain Marvel, right? Brie Larson. It was getting so bad that Disney stepped in and said, "Hey, YouTube, we want you to fix this." Or maybe it wasn't Disney. Maybe YouTube did it intentionally. I don't know. Something tells me YouTube didn't do it intentionally. They were told to do it. They changed Brie Larson to news. So basically, authoritative sources, what they consider authoritative, those results came first. So anybody making a Brie Larson or a Captain Marvel video, those got suppressed. That was in the news. They talked about it. That was a real thing. It's crazy. And that's a really good sign of some of the problems with YouTube right there. That's a really good example, because YouTube will bend the knee to any single outlet that comes and wants them to make changes. They will make massive amounts of changes for them. They do it all the time, particularly if somebody from mainstream media gets mad and writes any kind of an article. YouTube bends over backwards for them. At the end of the day, this will be their biggest undoing. It's because they literally let their competitors drive them. YouTube is a competitor with legacy media. And they bend over backwards for legacy media time and time again. So, I don't know what they paid Joe Rogan. I couldn't find those details. I saw some numbers kicked around that were pretty high, but I can't verify if those are real. And I didn't see anything said. I don't think they have to tell you how much they paid him, but damn well it was a lot of money, more than likely. And hey, good for him, I like that other platforms are growing because it's good. It brings, maybe some alternatives to, make some changes. I've wanted to do a podcast for a long time, and, that makes me tempted to put it over on Spotify like this because that's a viable platform. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. Give me your thoughts. What do you think about all of this? I'd like to hear what you guys think about this whole Joe Rogan thing. Do you think Spotify could become a direct competitor to YouTube? Do you think that they could maybe give them a run for their money? What are your thoughts on that? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Also, if you would, make sure you're still subscribed. Oh, throw a like up and share the video also, And make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that and subscribe if you're new.